Do you want to sit in my lap?
Two.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to figure this out. It's basically what I'm trying to tell you is that Huntley's trying to eat her breakfast. We are completely, what's it called? Jet lagged, but I'm so excited to meet with you guys this morning. So I'm going to start by reading the Self-Reliant Entrepreneur to you guys. How's everybody doing? Drop it in the chats. I'm sorry that we missed yesterday. I was on a plane. Is it the 15th? You guys, we're halfway through the month. I think statistics said like over half of America will be done, literally will be done with their New Year's resolution by the 15th of the month. Is that nuts? Like they started their resolutions on the 1st and by the 15th, they would be done. So a lot of people are quitting on themselves today. I don't want any of those people to be you guys. So it says, have a dream. Reformers who are always compromising have not yet grasped the idea that truth is the only safe ground to stand upon. The object of an individual life is not to carry one fragmentary measure in human progress, but to utter the highest truth clearly seen in all directions, and thus to round out and perfect a well-balanced character. 1895, that was Elizabeth Stanton. It's so easy to fall into the trap of feeling like this thing you are doing is too hard. It is hard. Building your own business every day isn't easy. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Excuse me. One of your biggest advantages to your willingness to keep pushing ahead, even when it feels like you aren't making progress. To do something on your own can invite criticism or worse, comparison, and those self-inflicted voices become noisy distractions. But truth is the only safe ground to stand upon. Do you remember any days when you worked for someone else and maybe you didn't give it your best work? In hindsight, didn't that feel worse than putting up with the hard work you're doing on your own? Your work has your name on it and belongs to you. You're contributing on your own terms, expressing yourself the way you want, and that is a tiny and important revolution. The challenge question is, what's the hardest part of your work these days? How could you reframe it? Okay, so I love this question. What is the hardest part of your work these days? Because I think that is whatever you decide that it is, right? Whatever you decide is hard is going to be hard. If you decide that messaging is hard, if you decide that, shoot, did I put the wrong code in the chats? Sorry, my phone's like not working properly. Oh no, okay. Thanks, Megan, for putting it in there. So yeah, my phone, you guys, my phone, I don't know what it is, but I got a new phone because it wasn't working properly. Like it would freeze every time that I like tried to do anything. And then I went and got a new one and it's doing the exact same thing. Like what even is that? Who gets a brand new phone and it's doing the exact same thing as it was doing? So I don't know if it's like a iOS issue or what, but I got to figure that out. So that's another thing I need to make sure that I get done today because it's hindering my messaging and it's hindering my texting back and all of those things. So can't have that. Okay, what was I talking about? So what is the hardest thing that you guys would say? Actually, I want you to drop it in the chats. What's the hardest thing that you would say it is for you to do in your business? That you just think about it and you're like, you know what? This is just hard. Like my business is just hard when this. Drop it in the chats. I want to see it. I want honesty. Nobody's judging here. I want honesty. Message it to me privately if you don't want me to say your name. Think hard on this one. What's the hardest thing in your business? People leaving. That's a good one. Consistency and accountability. Megan, I'm going to give you some tough love right here. Making slides. I think you mean making over stuff for your, like making stories for Instagram, right? Only because it takes time and you're a perfectionist. If that is the hardest thing in your business right now, take a break from it. Stop doing that. Immediately stop doing that. Start going to my page, Shelby's page, any other leaders that you like, and taking the ones that we use for a couple of weeks. That should literally take, I don't even know, percentage wise, 5% of your day. 5%. Okay. If that, like, literally, if you are spending, and this is for everybody, I'm not just talking to Megan right now, because I have to do this myself. There are times where it's great to make your own, right? There are times where it's great, of course, for your opportunity stories, but make like 3 good ones. Make like 3 good ones and cycle out the same week. Not the same people are seeing them. So don't waste all of your time making stories, please. That is not an income producing activity that is going to completely change your business when we have so many others that are made for us. Okay. I'm going to go through these because I'm just like loving this morning. It's hard when I don't make the time for it. Okay. So that's like a thing that we're doing, right? So we can make the time for our business. It's hard in our minds because we're not prioritizing it. Right? So we're not prioritizing our business. So that is making it hard. That's making our business hard. But in reality, our business isn't hard. Just us being committed to our business is hard. So think about this. One of the things I told Brian, which this is not a good representation, okay, but we are about to move across the country to Florida. And I was like, listen, Brian, I need to make it a goal that if I walked out of my trailer or my house, hopefully we'll have a house soon, but if I walk out and Pam Souter sees me, I need to be at a level that Pam Souter would be like, dang, she did her hair today.
She got
like, no, honestly, Pam Souter wouldn't even notice because she'd be like, oh, good, she looks presentable. But like Pam Souter would definitely notice if I walked out there looking like this and I wasn't working out for some reason, right? She'd be like, what in the world? What are you doing? This is how you run your business? Like, this is not okay. So think of somebody in your business. Maybe that's me for you, where if you did something in front of them, they would be disappointed. Okay, I'm not saying that Pam would be disappointed in me if I didn't get dressed every day, you guys. But what I'm saying is that she inspires me to get up, look my best, feel my best, do the things that I need to do, because that woman does those things every single day, no matter what, and that inspires me. And if I want to be a Pam Souter someday, I've got to do the things that Pam Souter is doing, right? So think of that person in your business that helps you and keeps you accountable. And say to yourself, do you think she ever puts her business to the side? Do you think she ever doesn't prioritize her business? This is our livelihood. This is what makes us money. We don't call into work. This is one thing that I love. Out of all the things that I've been through in my life, but mainly all the things that I've been through in this business specifically for the last 3.5 years, I've had a baby. Ryan and I have broken up at one point. This was like way back before Huntley, but like literally we broke up. We moved to separate houses during this business, got back together, moved back into the same house, had Huntley. Let's see, like my brother went to, like all these things, you guys know exactly what has happened, right? Do you think that if those things happened, so I had a breakup, right? Do you think that your boss at your 9 to 5 would be like, oh, it's fine, take some time off, you had a breakup? No, you're still going to work, right? You're still going to your 9 to 5. Your kid didn't sleep all night long. Do you think that your boss is going to be like, it's cool, come in when you want, it's fine? Okay, do you guys see what I'm saying? This is the same thing with your business, except for you're letting yourself down. For some reason, you think it's okay to let yourself down, but you don't want to let any others down. Stop letting yourself down. Get up, do the things that you need to do, prioritize it, make sure that it is a priority in your life, and you won't feel like it's hard because it's just there every day. You have to get it done. Stephanie, people leaving. This one is honestly one of my hardest, one of my biggest struggles, I think. But I want you guys to notice this. She's a double diamond leader, gonna go triple very soon. And her biggest struggle in this business is people leaving. You know why? Because all of the normal things in her business are normal things. It doesn't matter if they're hard. They get done, right? She gets the things done that she needs to get done. She's a leader. She knows what she has to do. She prioritizes her time. She makes all those things happen. But with people leaving, that's our hearts. Like, that's our hearts at stake. We pour into a lot of people. We pour into them. We do things like this. We do one-on-ones. We believe in them. We believe in them before they've ever believed in themselves. And that one's just tough. Like there's not a certain thing that I can say right now that's going to make people leaving any better. The only thing that I can say is that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And I'm going to add one thing to it: at the right time. Have you guys ever had anybody come back into your business, but like when they left, there was nothing that you could say that was going to make them stay, right? I've had a few of those. And then they come back and you have open arms and you are like, you can come back at any time. And you have this, you have this connection with them that like, they know that they can come back and work with you because you never burnt that bridge. You never stopped believing in them. That right there is what I can say about people leaving. Just know in your heart that they will come back at some point. You can never say the wrong thing to the right person at the right time. Okay, so just know that there might be people for 3 years watching you and it's just not for them. And then all of a sudden something happens in their life where they need this business. Something happens in their life where you keep posting about it because that's what we do. And they know, oh my gosh, I need to text Stephanie. I need to text Rochelle because I can no longer do this anymore. I can no longer, you never know what people are going through. And so don't ever give up on somebody just because they left or just because they maybe thought that this wasn't for them, or the potentials that you're still talking to. I'm seeing a lot of the same ones, which is consistency, accountability, tasking for messaging, staying consistent with messaging when I'm not seeing results. I can attest to that. Hold on. Okay, definitely the initial reach out and negative interaction, messaging constantly. So everybody know messaging because it's so repetitive. Okay, I'm going to talk about, you guys know that I just give you tough love. I'm going to talk about what else is repetitive. Getting up every single morning to go to a job that you absolutely hate. That's repetitive, right? It's repetitive. It's every single day. You have to get up. You have to go to work for somebody that you don't want to work for. You have to leave your kids and put them in daycare every single day. You have to constantly be paying your bills, and it's constantly for some reason not adding up, and you have more bills at the end of the month than you do pay. Okay, drop a 1 if you're understanding this. Those are things that are repetitive. Those are the kind of repetitive things that you do not want to get into a negative mindset or a repetitive streak with that, right? If you have a mindset of messaging being hard, and I'm seeing a lot of it, okay? And this is something I've actually been talking about a lot lately with a lot of you. And I don't know if you were on Christy Christensen's Zoom and I the other night, but I kind of like ripped everybody a new one about messaging and how if you have the mindset when you come in, this is what I'm teaching my newbies. If you come into this business and you immediately have a negative connotation for messaging, you're not going to be successful. Okay, if messaging is your hardest thing, if messaging is your biggest thing that sets you back or that you can't make time for, you will not be successful. I'm not being mean. I'm telling you the truth because I've been there. I had to switch my mindset. I had to change it. You guys know that if you don't do the work and do the work consistently every single day, you will not notice the results. Okay, you're not going to get results for something if you're not doing it every single day, even on the days that you don't want to. You guys want to know a secret? This has been a secret for like all of these successful people in the world. Every single successful person will tell you this. And I didn't understand it until like the last few months, okay? You show up even when you don't want to. How many of you, and I want honesty here, how many of you can honestly say that you have shown up in the last 3 weeks of your business, that you have shown up even when you didn't feel like it? Shelves is killing it in her 90-day trial. Or trial. What am I talking about? In her 90-day push. Okay, so 1 of you raise your hands. Drop a 2. I'm not seeing chats. Drop a 2 if you have literally worked through something that you did not want to work through. I'm gonna drop a 2 because I've been working my butt off. My poor team yesterday, though, I have not responded to a lot of you, and I promise you I will get back to you, but those flights were long. And then you guys, we got back to the trailer and the power wasn't working, so we couldn't hook up to the truck. Like it was 8 o'clock when we finally got back to our trailer, and 8 p.m. we could not hook up to our truck. And I was like freaking out because I thought we were going to have to stay at the storage unit. Our slides wouldn't come out. Nothing. Like when you have no power, you can't even lift the tongue up to like connect to the truck. It was nuts. And then while Brian's trying to figure all of that out, there's this raccoon that keeps coming by and he's like hissing at us because we had dog food in the trailer for Remy when we had her. And we forgot to take it out. I didn't think about it. We just didn't think about it. And so it's like in the, like there's a storage compartment outside and you can like get up into it from below the trailer. And so this raccoon, I guess, was coming around the whole time. And like, I mean, I saw it, but I got in the truck. I was like, no thanks. I'm not going to deal with this raccoon right now. Like that's terrifying. And the mosquitoes were so bad. It was just not great. But my point is we made it home. Everything is good. And finally today I will be able to like catch back up on everything. But my point is that I know that it sucks when I sit here and I say, it's your mindset. You need to change your mindset when it comes to messaging, because that is the number one thing that we want to just roll our eyes at, turn off this Zoom and walk out of the room, because Rochelle doesn't understand that it's not my mindset. I just don't really like it. It is a mindset. And you guys have to understand that because I've been there. I'm not preaching this at you saying like, you need to do this, you need to do this because of this. I'm saying it because there was a time where I absolutely hated messaging. There was a time where I absolutely hated host to post. There was a time where I absolutely hated the number one income producing things in my business. Okay. Yet, how many people have become financially free, have brought their husbands home, have stayed home with their babies, have done countless things because I have messaged them? How many people? I think back when I don't want to message, this is what I think. Shauna's like, me, I joined you. Listen, I think back to how many people that I've gotten texts that brought tears to my eyes. Sometimes I need a little help. Sometimes I have to ask Brian about it. I can't tell you how many times. Just last month, right after Christmas, I sent out a bunch of messages. I printed out my Facebook list, you guys. So I've been messaging from my Facebook list. And I messaged this girl, and I can't tell you how many people. This is what you won't realize. I can't tell you how many people that I have not messaged. Charlie looks like a little girl now. She doesn't even look like a baby. Like she's just a toddler all of a sudden. Oh my goodness. Okay. I can't wait to see you guys. So what am I saying? Think back to the times that you changed people's life from a message. I'm thinking back right now to this time, right after Christmas. This girl said, I'm so glad that you messaged me because I was sitting in my bathroom and I couldn't zip up my Christmas dress, and I was bawling my eyes out because I'm so tired of this wait. Let me tell you something about that. She has not joined as a loyal customer or a distributor yet, but that message back that she said to me changed everything. It reminded me what messaging does. Okay. So when you truly feel, and I'm going to get off this subject in just a second, when you truly feel like you are messaging and not getting results, write down how many people you're messaging, how many days in a row you've actually done it before you decide that you're not getting results from it. Because the numbers do not lie. Those are the only things in our business that's not going to lie, right? The numbers do not lie. And if you are messaging, you will sign. I cannot stress this enough. If you are truly messaging, along with posting, along with putting it in your story, along with believing in yourself and doing your self-development every single day. Okay, these all go hand in hand, and interacting on your stories. If you are doing all of those things, there is absolutely no way that you will not sign. Now, if this happens, did I just freeze or am I good? Am I good? Hello? Okay, sorry. It like told me that my internet was unstable, so I just wanted to make sure. If you are doing all of those things, and I'm making you cry right now because you're like, Rochelle, I'm doing all these things and they're not working. Listen, I've been there too. Message me after this, because for 3 straight weeks, I was doing everything that I was supposed to be doing. But I also asked God for my word to be faith, or I found that my word was faith for this year. And so as soon as I figured that out, for some reason, he was like, so I'm going to test you on that because you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. And for 3 weeks, he didn't give me a single customer or single distributor. And I was like, I'm hanging on purely on faith right now that everything is going to be okay. And who would you know? How do you even say that? And what do you know? Who would you know? And what do you know? As soon as I stopped stressing about it, gave my business up to him, and truly had faith for my real word, everything started pouring in. Okay, so trust me when I say, if you're doing all those things, it will all come into it. Shelby said, I listened to a Denise Walsh podcast, and she said only 20% of time should go towards the content. That includes stories, posts, lives, and all of it. 20%. That's it. Shelby, did she say what else? What the other 80% was? Was it broken down? I'm curious.
I forget what the actual word is that she used, but it's like the other 80% should be like the income producing activities. Like, yeah, we say posting is an IPA, but like the legit, like messaging, all the stuff you were just saying, like messaging, following up. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I love that. And okay, let me see here. Notifications get messaging. I overthink it. The notifications get overwhelming. Let me tell you something about this, Casey. If notifications are overwhelming, they are for me too. I'm going to start with that. They are for me too. Like Brian knows if my anxiety's through the roof, he's like, do you have a lot to like respond to or something right now? Like what, like what's your deal? And I'll be like, yeah, my phone's blowing up. And he's like, okay, business is good. That's what he says. Okay. So the next time that you get overwhelmed, take a deep breath. Business is good. Because if you have so many notifications that it is overwhelming, then guess what? You're doing well. That's good. That's what you want. And also understand this. If you cannot get past that overwhelming feeling, go pray. Go give it to God. Go say, you know what? I might not be able to do all of this right now, but God, I pray that all of these people that want this information are ready to hear it as soon as I can get back to them. And then guess what? All you say is, I'm so sorry I haven't been able to get back to you today. Things have been crazy. People are signing up left and right. Hey, this is what I do. People are signing up left and right. I have not been able to catch up today. I'm so excited. Let me tell you more about this coffee or whatever it is. Your busyness shows people that you can do this with a busy life. It shows people that you don't have to respond like that. Okay, I can't tell you how many people have said that to me, whether they've said, I think the number like 2 things that they've said is, I don't want to do videos like you, and I can't respond that quickly. Okay. So like, listen, you don't have to respond that quickly because we all have lives. That is normal. Just apologize. Just be real. Just be you. Don't allow that to eat at you, because that just means that business is good. Consistency and overthinking. I'm going to read through the rest of these really quick because messaging for sure. Instagram platform. That's just something you got to watch trainings on. Trainings. Alyssa Bilyeu, actually, Alyssa Marie is now, I'll type her in the chats. Alissa Marie. She's my favorite for social media. She'll go so in depth. Go back to her YouTube, everything she's done. She does lives every week on Facebook too. She's all about social. If you guys want to know what to be doing on social media, she is the go-to gal. Spending time working with someone and then saying that they can't do it, it shuts me down. You guys, I'm going to be so raw and real like I have been this whole time. I don't mean to come out. I don't know. I'm like fired up this morning. I don't know what's happening. But this all stems from mindset. This all stems from your mindset. Instead of thinking, I wasted so much time on this person and they just did, they shut me down. They didn't want anything. It must be me. It must be me. No, it is not the right time for them. And let me tell you something, if you mentally give up on them, if you say, well, I wasted so much time on them and they didn't want to do this, blah, 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 guess what? They're going to find somebody else who's posting that's more positive. They're going to find somebody else when they're ready to go to, because you're not going to stick out in their mind. That might sound rude. It's not. It's the truth. Listen to me. This is a mindset. In this business, we have to have some tough skin. That can be learned. I know I have a lot of yellows on here. I know that reds are like automatically we've got that tough skin, but let me tell you something. It's just something that you have to learn. You have to know that in a business like ours, especially in sales, okay? Do you think that car salesmen go home at night and like, oh my gosh, I had 6 families come in today and every single one of them just wanted to like touch the leather. What does Pam say? Lick the leather? I think she says lick the leather, kick the tire. Like, I had all these families come in today and not one of them bought. Like, screw those families. No, they know that they are going to come back in when they are ready for a car. Okay. I don't know. That might have been a really bad example because I've never been a car salesman, but like, I know that they're not sitting there complaining when traffic is coming in. You know why? Because that means that people are interested in cars. So when traffic comes in to your organization, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, text messaging, whatever it is, this is good. They are interested. It is never a waste of time. Okay, Alexa Huffman is a double diamond on this team. Shalina Pearson is a double diamond on this team. Straight up blocked me numerous times. Then would unblock me, ask me all the questions, and I'm talking like all the green questions. Okay, both of them are red, so I don't know how they had all these green questions, but I'm telling you, like, straight up, like, well, how much money do you make? I don't believe this is real unless you can show me type of things. I am not kidding you. We've had this conversation before, so I can tell about it. It's hilarious. Like, literally would block me, come back, never like my stuff, never comment on my stuff, nothing. And then I'd be like, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, in their message box. And then it would be like, block, block, block. Like, you know, you see that you can't send the message, right? This person isn't receiving messages right now, that crap. And then straight up, they would unblock me and ask me a question because they wanted to know more. You cannot get discouraged by that. Like I just said, they are double diamonds on my team now. Do you think that if I would have blocked them and got discouraged because I wasted my time with them, even though there were times where I was like, this is getting ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? They still joined. They still came along. It's how you carry yourself, your confidence going forward, and knowing in your heart, no matter what, they will join, whether it's 5 years down the road, 3 years down the road, or 2 months down the road. If you know in your heart, they're watching, they will join. You are doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, like the 6 list I just mentioned, they will join. But it's all up here. Okay, it's all up here. If I ask the ones who are saying if I ask the ones who are saying like they have an issue with overthinking or feeling shut down, when they get shut down, they feel like that. If I asked all of you how many books you've read this year, okay, I'm not going to make you put it in here, but I want to ask you, how many books have you read this year? How many books have you listened to? How many podcasts have you listened to? This is a great start by getting on here. This is a great start for self-development, but we have to be doing more. We have to be growing our minds. We have to be developing that thick skin to know that all of those people will be joining you. Okay, sorry, this was like a different one. I just wanted to have some interaction with you guys. I think I answered all the questions. People not wanting it as bad as I want it for them. That's a tough one. That's another thing that we just have to straight up let go. That literally you have to just let it go. That's the hardest thing in the world. Hi, baby, I'm almost done. But it's true. It's one thing that I pray on a lot. I pray on that a lot because I have a lot of people on my team that I want it for them so badly. And it's not happening one way or another. And there's nothing that I can do. It's out of my control. So one thing that I would say for you, Casey, is practicing when something comes into your mind and it really bothers you and it's really eating you alive. Think about if it's going to matter in 5 years, okay? Will it matter in 5 years? Let's not waste our time on it if it's not going to matter in 5 years, number one. Number two, think about it as, can I control it? Is it in my control? Okay, I've had to do this a lot. Like when Huntley's screaming her head off in the truck and I'm like, Lord, this is like out of my control. Like there's literally nothing that I can do about it. Therefore, why should I be sweating and bawling my eyes out with her? Because there's nothing that I can do. Okay, so when you ask yourself that question, is it out of my control? If it is out of your control and it's for somebody else, you have to let it go. Give it up to God. Give it up to God. Just say, will you just take this from me? Because I can't bear it. That's what he's there for, you guys. That's it. Will you take this? I can't bear it. And take a deep breath. Let it go. Let it wash over you. And it's gone. I'm going to read oh yeah, Stephanie said, once you learn to have that tough skin, once you learn to know that they are going to come back to you at all times, it will change. Signing a DT 3 years ago, she said this was a scam and I was crazy for leaving my job. Now she has kids and wants to join. Keep going. I love this. That gave me chills. I love this. It's so exciting. You guys, when people have babies, I'm telling you, when people have babies, they're like, everything changes. I thought that I wanted to be a work from home mom. Look at Brian just set this cleanse next to me like, hello, take your cleanse, Rochelle. Thanks, babe. So I wanted to be I want not a work from home mom, but like I was like, when I have kids, this is going to be me. And I just love to work. Like I'm not going to ever be a stay-at-home mom. And then I had Huntley, and I remember looking at her like, never in a million years could I leave her unless I absolutely did not have a choice. Okay. That is what happens when you have your babies. Okay. When you have your babies, when all of those people that are on your feed that are pregnant and they're like, I don't know, I just can't like splurge. A week after their babies are out, 2 weeks after their babies are out, you're following up. Hey, listen, while you're on maternity leave, let's get you started with this, because I'm telling you, they get started on their maternity leave, they can make a good income by the time it's time for them to go back to work, and they will not want to go back to work. I can't tell you how many people that happens to. Trust me when I say that. That happened to me. I actually got fired, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. Let me read the devotional. I know I've kept you guys. That's a story for another time. Okay. He will deliver. I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. Psalm 34:4. Sometimes we want God to deliver us just because we are his. We want him to take care of our needs simply because he is our father, and that's what fathers do. But we have a role to play in our deliverance as well. If we want answers, we must seek him. If we want to be rescued from our anxieties, we must draw near to him. When we seek him, he will respond. When we look for him, he will save us. The answers don't come unless we ask. The rescue isn't promised unless we call out for help. When circumstances threaten to overwhelm us, we must ask ourselves, am I seeking God? Can I seek him more? When we draw as close to him as we possibly can, he will be there. He will answer. He will deliver us from our fears. Dear Father, I am looking for you. I want to be as close to you as I can be. Amen. I have one last story. I promise I'll let you go. I never like to keep you past a half an hour. But this just reminded me of when my brother went to prison, or excuse me, when he had like all of these things happen. He wasn't in prison yet. He was still in jail at this point. Okay, so he had just gotten in the wreck. He got taken directly to jail. And we went to church that Sunday, and I will never forget this. This was something, I'm sure Brian won't either. I'm sure it was very uncomfortable for him, but it was something that for some reason was laid on my heart that I had to do. And so the second that this happened, of course, I hit my knees. I was praying every single day. I wasn't sleeping. My brother was in jail for about a week before we could get him out. Okay, so backstory on that, he's like my child. Okay, I literally raised my little brother. So for me, I could not eat, sleep. Imagine if your kids were somewhere that you never imagined them to be. You never wanted them to be there. And here I am, 20 weeks pregnant, can't eat, can't sleep, nothing until we get him out of there. And we went to church that morning, and they don't do this anymore. I was trying to figure out if they do it or if they don't do it, and maybe I'm not noticing it because I noticed it then. Can you think back? Do you remember? I don't think they're doing, or maybe they do it, but I just haven't noticed it. But basically our church, at the end of each service, they will say, if anybody needs prayer, if anybody has something on their heart that they need to come up here and pray for, we are here. Come up to the, what are they, ushers, or like, to the prayer warriors, I think is what they call them at our church. And they will pray over us. I've never done that in my life. If you know me, I am not somebody who asks for help. Unless I am in a private room asking God for help and nobody can see me doing it, I do not ask for help. It is ingrained in me. I do not know why. It's a bad habit. Okay. But it is what it is. And I felt God tugging on my heart. I was sobbing, weeping in the church, right? I was just losing my mind because there was nothing I could do about it. It was out of my control. But they asked if people needed prayers. And I grabbed Brian's hand and I drug him all the way up to the front of the church. I told them what was happening and what we needed, and I laid it all out there. And she laid her hands on me. She got a couple more people. You guys, I'm getting emotional. She got a couple more people to come lay their hands on us, pray for my brother. They did not ask questions about why he was in jail. They did not ask questions on why he was in a wreck. They did not judge him. They did not judge me. They literally just prayed for him. They just prayed for him. And that was one of the biggest things that I could ever do on truly going to God before others, saying, Lord, we need help. We need more help than me just asking. We need everybody to be praying about it. I had my girls that were on these with me. My Wake Up with Rochelle's praying for my brother. I had everybody praying for my brother. And ultimately, he got every single thing that happened, you guys. he was facing, and I'm talking bad, like over four like felonies, like the things that they charge them with. Okay. Over 6.5 years in prison, a maximum prison. Okay. As a 19-year-old boy. All of these things, every single one of them was the best case scenario. Okay. And I truly believe that it was all because of the power of prayer. We had 12 jurors there, and 11 out of 12 found him not guilty of everything. Okay. And without knowing the story, it might be crazy because you're like, I'm sorry, what? He got off scot-free? Like, no, he went to prison for 2 years. He did not get off scot-free. And he's definitely learned his lesson on all of that. But my point of this is, when you might not have a thing that is happening this bad in your life right now, but listen, when you go to God in prayer, he will provide. You will receive it. But just like this devotional said, you have to go to him. You don't just get to go to church every Sunday and have God give you all of these blessings. I'm going to challenge you guys to do something, and then I'm out. In that book, E Squared, I know a lot of you are reading it now, but in that book, this doesn't take a lot of your time, and it's not anything that you need to read it for. But I want you to ask God, or whoever you believe in, the universe, whatever, ask God to give you a blessing within the next 48 hours. Okay, ask and believe it, know it. When you say it out loud, say, Shelby's gives me chills. Someday I hope she's able to share it. I can't even wait. But seriously, ask God to give you a blessing. Just say, God, in the next 48 hours, can you just show me a blessing? And sometimes, you guys, it's not going to be in a form that's like crazy. Okay. I think one of the things that she said was like, she was sitting on a park bench, and this little kid came up and sat next to her and like was smiling at her, and she was smiling back. And it was just like, it just gave her the best feeling in the world. And that was her blessing. That just her and this little kid were just like smiling at each other and had this little moment. So I don't know what it's going to be, but ask him and write down the time. Write down, it's 10:38 a.m. on Wednesday. Okay. And in 48 hours, you will have a blessing. You ask and you shall receive. Make sure that you're looking for those things. Okay. I love you guys. I'm so sorry that I kept you so long, but I just kept spewing stuff. So I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye.